Welcome back to the Shane Plays Let's Play series of Torment, Tides of Numenera. So we just finished the intro video. We did our character creation and learned about the sorrow and learned that I am a cast-off body of the changing god, which has somehow developed its own consciousness. These are two new companions I picked up. And we're in this area. I was supposed to climb inside this resonance chamber, and that would somehow make things so that the sorrow, which is just this big awful creature that's trying to eat me, couldn't find me. But I arrived here and it's all smashed up. So they offered to take, there's two different guilds. One was like the Cult of the Changing God, and the other one was like the Order of Truth or something like that. They could possibly help me, and I opted for the Cult of the Changing God. So
I should really get moving before someone tries to kill me.
So we are going to look around. Interact with this.
Ready.
What is this? A mechanical arm lies on the floor, presumably broken during your fall. That's not good. Oh yeah, I fell to earth. Sparks pour from the arm's shattered housing, filling the air with a greasy stench. I'm going to examine it. The sharply pointed apparatus that formerly topped the device appears burnout and useless, but the equipment in the base remains at least somewhat operational, as the constant stream of sizzling motes can attest. Okay, so can I examine it again? Sparks angularly leap to and fro amidst several cables and other broken components. Okay, I'm not going to examine it again. Now, I can use lore machinery or quick fingers to attempt to scavenge what you can from the arm's housing. I don't have either of those skills trained. In fact, I think lore machinery I may not be able to use at all, but let me see what I can do here. If you select the companion's portrait in the effort window, they can assist. Oh, cool. The last cast off, who's me, with some challenges. Your companion's stat pools are used instead of your own, and they may have different skills, abilities, and statistics that make the challenge easier. Companions cannot assist in a crisis, can only use their stats during their turn. Okay. So, what do you have here? I don't even know. I don't know what skills you have. Okay, so I have lore machinery inability at 15%. So that's gonna hurt me. What's he got? Ooh. He's got lore machinery trained at plus 15%, so that would be nice. And she's got a base difficulty of 60. So my base difficulty is 45%. This companion's final difficulty is 75%. Because he's got lore machinery trained. So I'm going to use him. And I'm going to spend a point of effort to get a 95% chance of success. Success. Taking care to avoid the sparks to extract several handfuls of shiny trinkets and coin-like objects. You recognize their value at once. Such objects would be accepted as shins, the informal currency in most regions of the world. So you gather them up and take them with you. Yeah, shins is basically as it says, the money of the world. So spray flesh. This is I'm pretty sure this is a cipher, of which you can only have so many, but maybe not. Showing that it consumes movement. Its value is 40 shins. This gelatin covers and seals wounds instantly if applied correctly. Tiny synth canister sprays a sticky gelatinous substance. So I don't want to use that. Cool. Okay, leave the device alone. Now I'm going to go into my inventory. All I have is the spray flesh. I don't want to... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that is not a cipher. That's just an item. I think in the actual game of Numenera, the tabletop role-playing game, this would be considered a cipher, but in the computer version here, it's simply a consumable. So let's examine this.
Yes.
computer is thinking. You might even be able to hear its fans blowing. Boy, it's really thinking. Sunlight falls through the ragged hole in the roof onto the shattered resonance chamber. It is hard to believe that you did this, that you plummeted through the curve of the pale blue sky, crashed through the dome, and broke this delicate machine with your own body. It is hard to believe that you are still alive. I was explaining last video that the changing god develops his bodies to be much better than average. So I crashed into the thing that I needed to save me. There's some irony. 4 mechanical arms hang over the center of the device, above the cracked, semi-transparent crystal of the sarcophagus. The 5th arm lies broken on the floor among the scattered synth and crystal shards, and a metal ring surrounds the array, dented and broken by your impact crater. Nice. Examine the shards on the ground. Jagged fragments of crystal are intermingled with synth from the shattered dome above. The crystal shards glitter in the light like captive suns. Okay, inspect the metal ring. You feel the slightest hint of resistance every time you cross the ring, and now that you're paying attention, you note that your breath is echoing in your ears, as though you were inside a glass dome. When you step outside the ring, the feeling passes. Well, that's interesting. Pick up one of the crystal shards. Okay. I got a crystalline shard. Ooh, nice. It's a light melee weapon. Cool. I guess it's already equipped. 2 physical damage, plus 2 damage per effort applied. Light weapon bonus. Okay. Look for other useful shards. You sort through the remaining pieces of crystal, but they are too small or too unwieldy to be of any use. Okay. Let's take a look at the sarcophagus. The padded interior beneath the coffin's cracked lid looks like it was made for a human body. Well, it was. Despite the damage, you don't see any way to open it and get inside. Huh. You glance between the sarcophagus and the needle-like protrusions at the end of the arms above. It seems likely that using this chamber would not be a pleasant experience. Well, but if it protects me from the sorrow, that's pretty pleasant. Take another look at the sarcophagus. It may be your imagination, but some of the cracks in the crystal seem shallower than they were before. Does it heal itself, perhaps? Let me take another look. Okay. I'm going to take one more look. Alright. Same thing. Examine the suspended arms. Cables run from machines along the dome's walls to the base of the suspended arms, each of which is capped with long needles, aimed at the cracked coffin-like chamber at the center of the platform. Gem-like lights flicker dimly at the bases of the arms. Examine them again. The needle-like extensions at the ends of the arms glitter in the dome's faint light. A number of the lights at the base of the arms have gone out. Okay, let's look again. Yeah, it seems like it just takes 2 looks and you get everything so far. Alright, inspect the metal ring again. The ring seems to project some kind of field, like a protective dome around the sarcophagus. Well, it didn't protect it too much because I smashed through it. Okay, step away. So I'm going to go into my inventory here. Okay, so it automatically equipped that weapon. And I've also got this 1 armor, 1 resistance, wit-crafted suit of light armor that's only usable by me. That's me. What else can I look at here? Let's go and take a close look. She's got a really cool effect on her with those like shimmering sister images.
Yes.
I'm going to turn down the voice acting. A slate black, unimpressive device hunkers before you. As you reach out to touch it, the triangle of lights on its casing blazes into life and an image unfolds in your mind. A towering crystal arch rises over a jagged, gray landscape. The air is dead and stifling, and there, at its emerald peak, the image collapses, leaving you staring into the device's triangular array of lights. Command me, the device, or the intelligence within it says, each word carefully etched with distaste. I'm going to say, what commands do you recognize? The three lights throb irritably. Heated air sighs from the device's vents. And then a towering list of commands races through your mind, too fast, far too fast to read. You rub your eyes, groaning, and the intelligence chortles. Command me, it says smugly. Show me that list of commands. Slower, please. If anything, the list pours through your mind even faster than last time. Command me, the intelligence drawls. Alright, what a jerk. Alright, what was the arch you showed me? Your command was not understood, the intelligence chuckles, its lights pulsing. Show me that arch again. The device's triangle of lights throb in time with the growl of the engines within its casing, and the mental image unfolds once more. You see a huge crystalline arch on a jagged field. The arch is divided into rectangular cells, all of which are numbered, and they all appear to be transparent and empty, except at the arch's pinnacle, one cell is lit in brilliant, pulsating emerald. The number 0 is printed on its side. And I should have taken in them. Try to remember more details about this strange place. I know I should have put points in amnesis. I have an 80% chance. That gives me 100% chance spending effort. Whoa, what did I miss? Okay, the memory blossoms. You stand before this arch, eyeing the last 2 active cells in once impenetrable Lugumvo. Unleash cell 29, you say, and a twisted artifact appears before you. You claim it with a faint smile, watching the light fade from the cell far above. You flinch from the memory, and it falls apart as you raise your eyes to the arch as it is now. Cell 29 is dark now. Only cell 0 remains. Examine the jagged wasteland. Dry grit whirls across the empty plain. Many kilometers beyond the arch is the faint outline of what seems to be a broken tower, except that it is slowly stretching into the gray air. Let's examine again. Far beyond the arch, the broken tower reaches for pale, red-threaded clouds. Alright, let's examine again. That's all I can get. Close the image of the arch. Command me. You release your mental hold on the image of the arch and it collapses, returning you to reality. Command me, the intelligence says sulkily. How would it... Command me? Yeah, I don't know. How do you say it sulkily? Unleash... I'm going to unleash the contents of cell 0. You found a cipher. Cool. Ciphers are Numenera objects that can trigger a powerful effect, but can only be used once. Kind of like one-use magical items. Ciphers and your cipher limit score displayed in a special section of inventory screen. Take care not to accumulate more ciphers than your cipher limit, or you will experience unpleasant side effects. Wow, I gained 3 XP. What is this? Unstable detonation. Deals 6 energy damage and 4 physical damage to all characters in range. Wow. The range is medium, all in immediate area. So it's just a basic grenade type explosive. Okay. Cool. And they're getting 3 XP. Allegern. Interesting that a cast-off can command the changing god's machines. He crosses his arms across his chest. How'd you do that? Callistege rolls her eyes at Allegern. Then she looks at you. He'll never stop gnawing on this bone, you know. The truth is wasted on him. She gets a glint in her eye. Though I admit curiosity, how did you do that? I'm going to say I remembered something. I don't think it was my memory, though. Callistege, that's the lady with the flickering sisters. Residual memories of a past consciousness. Truly fascinating. Allegern. Oh, don't act like you know what that was. It's just as likely the machine triggered something past his amnesia. Callistege. She gives you a meaningful look that mimics teeth gnashing like an animal gnawing a bone. Okay, so this thing's crackling now.
Let's go.
Oh, I was gonna... Okay, I can't do anything else with that. Okay, I am going to just slightly turn down the voiceover volume. Take it down to an 80. What do we think? Okay, what else? Let me look at this. Tiny glowing motes flow through the interior of this tower. Each one is surrounded by much smaller motes, like thousands of worlds circling their suns. Okay, sure, why not?
Doing it now.
Okay, let me examine this. The flexible tubes that are attached to this machine appear to be later additions. Someone cobbled the device together, but its function is unclear. Okay. What else can I do here? I think that may be it. Oh, wait, what's this? Broken fragments of the dome ceiling are scattered on the floor. They appear to be made of transparent synth. So this is literally this is where I crashed right there. I was like, bam! Like I fell to earth, and then I kind of modified, I flattened my body out to try to slow down, and then evidently she threw a cipher to help slow me down. Plus the body that I'm in is evidently very resilient and can repair itself. But I should have died by all rights. Interact. Loot! What is this?
Let's go.
Shins. Encephalic Rush heals 3 points of intellect. Nice. Fleetfoot Moss heals 3 points of speed. Heck yeah, I'll take all that. Yeah, you use your attributes, your stats, if you will, in Numenera, like might, speed, and intellect. You can also spend points from them. Like I've spent a point of intellect earlier to, to remember how to use that machine and get that cipher. I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm not. Choose one exploration, lore, or conversation skill, +1 training level in that skill while active. Active until next sleep. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, so I could have given myself the flex skill of lore machinery earlier. That's cool. Quick fingers. Deception. Intimidation, persuasion, perception. Nice. That's nice. Escape out of that. So I get +1 training level in that skill while active. So that's nice. And it lasts until I sleep. Oh, and I guess I should talk to my companions. Let's do this.
I don't like the smell of this dome. Let's go. Sooner, not later.
So he doesn't like it here.
We should not tarry in this chamber long. No doubt others saw your dramatic entrance as well.
Okay. Well, I feel like I've seen everything. Alright. Let's leave.
Go.
I need to talk to you.
I just tried to talk to you. So his little thing has got a conversation indicator on it. Okay, Allergen, what do you need?
This is the Reef of Fallen Worlds, kid. It's a dangerous place at the best of times. And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
Callistege. Why were you looking at me when you said that? Allergen. I wasn't. He growls. Don't be so paranoid. But when she isn't looking, he raises his eyebrows at you knowingly. What makes the reef so dangerous? The Numenera of the past are always dangerous, but there are other dangers too. Some closer than others. Numenera and scavengers, boy, it's hard to say which is more unpredictable. Okay. What are the Numenera? You want me to tell you? He laughs without mirth. The Numenera are all around you, everything left over from the prior worlds. Sagat's Cliffs thrives by trading artifacts from ancient civilizations. Hells, you can't scoop a handful of earth without finding drit from prior worlds mixed with it. Numenera is anything from the prior worlds, but mostly we mean the stuff of value to us. A lot of the Numenera are just oddities, fancy trinkets with little real use, but sometimes you'll get a cipher that lets you do something incredible. Artifacts are worth even more. A cipher will only do something once, but artifacts last a lot longer, though they can burn out at the most inconvenient times. He frowns. Not that it's ever happened to me. Of course, we've got no idea what most of this junk was originally intended for. In most cases, it doesn't matter. Like you might find what used to be a propulsion unit for a star chariot, but who the hell knows enough to build the rest of it? Better to use it as a weapon. Better to use it as a weapon or a power source. He scowls, frustrated about something. I bet we could remake the world if we knew a tenth of the secrets of the ancients, but most days it's a challenge just to survive. What's your story? Ask me again when we get out of here. I don't trust this damned reef any more than the company we keep. He really doesn't like Callistege. What do you think of Callistege? A parasite disguised as a scholarch. Don't be surprised if she betrays you before the day is done. Actually, that would be slow for her. Then why are you traveling with her? He clenches his mouth shut, and you can see his jaw muscles working. She said she could help me with a problem I had. We never seemed to get anywhere with my business, but found plenty of time for hers. He looks you square in the eye. It wasn't something I'd care to do again. Keep that in mind when you talk to her. I'm going to ask again what he thinks of her. The most refined bloodsucker you'll ever meet, boy. The years I've wasted with her. Can you tell me about your tattoos? They look almost alive. These are nothing. Call them a consolation if you must. He smiles grimly. Some call them by worse names, but that's because they've had occasion to run afoul of these little snakes. He looks away. This line of questioning is clearly at an end. Can you tell me about your tattoos again? He looks at the tattoo on your head, and he says, I was born with them, just like you. Ain't a cast-off, though. Alright. What do you think we should do next? You want to fix that crystal chamber back there, yeah? First step is getting out of this reef. Alright, and alright, let's keep going, alright? About time, Callistege says.
Watch your steps, child. This is not a place to walk lightly. There are dangers in the reef, both old and new.
What kind of dangers are there in the reef? Myriad. We walk among the Numenera, detritus of fallen worlds and antediluvian wars. Not everything in the reef knows that its wars ended long ago. Yet the true dangers are contemporary. The reef holds the promise of treasure for the determined, but not always for the scrupulous. The Numenera are wondrous and deadly in equal measure. Although, her laugh chimes in the air, Allegern will doubtless tell you I am the most deadly of all. Okay, I'm going to say, what do you think of Allegern? Her lips pucker like she's tasting something foul. He's useful, she finally says. At least he was once. If that pompous lacknibber, forgive my language, dear, finds one more fault with me, I expect my sisters will murder him in several realities. She cocks her head to the side. There goes one now. He's a cavalier of the highest order. I tired of his incessant whinging long ago. Alright. Why is the resonance chamber here in the reef? An astute question, my dear. The most likely answer is that your sire discovered something he could repurpose for his own designs. If you can seal a dome as well as he did, the reef is as good a place as any for experimentation. Who are all these echoes of you? They are me. We are part of each other, sisters across infinite realities. We share our experiences and power. What's that old saying? That experience brings wisdom? I must be the wisest person in Sagas Cliffs. The wisest across countless worlds. Her laughter peals out. Tell me about the echoes again. They're a part of me, my dear, and I a part of them. We share a mind that crosses infinite realities, learning from each other constantly. So she's just an echo of another. There's another reality where she's not the main. She's just an echo. What's your story? She laughs. Now is not the time, dear, nor is the reef a safe place for lengthy disquisition. Rest assured, when we reach the cliffs, there will be plenty of time to swap tells. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going, alright? Of course, dear. Okay.
Allow me.
We can loot some stuff here. What are these things? Get used to weird stuff like this in Numenera. It's just always weird.
All right.
I'm gonna loot this. What is this? Shins, Fleetfoot Moss, Elutriated Force. Nice. So I'm getting some money and healing stuff.
Fine.
What are these? Two floating cones whirl and spin deliriously around each other, giggling like children being tickled. The air around them smells of sweet, burning leaves. What are you? The cones continue whirling and laughing like an enraptured dancers, giving no sign that they've hurt you. Watch them for patterns. The longer you stare at these artifacts, the more you're convinced they turn faster when their spiraling paths cross each other. Quick fingers touch a cone as it passes. Got a final difficulty. Yeah, I'll spend a point and get 100%. So you manage to graze one of them with the tip of your fingers, or your finger. Rorn, a voice says, and your vision is stolen from you. A moon hangs over you, but is not the one you recognize. It's black and in a pearl-white sky. Thick, flat asteroids orbit it like petals in the wind. You feel questing tendrils at your ankle, and the hot wind on your face smells of scorched hair and grief, and I gain 2 XP. The vision returns. The cones hang motionless for only a second before resuming their giggling dance. What are you for? The cones greet your question with a split second of hushed silence, following by delighted peals of helpless giggling. Allergern. They aren't for anything. They're from one of the worlds before this one. Allergern rubs a hand along his stub jaw. Sometimes the Numenera will do something useful. Sometimes they'll turn you inside out. And sometimes they don't do a damn thing that makes sense. Callistege. I've often said the same thing about you, darling, Callistege murmurs. Try speaking to the cones again. Childlike. Okay, leave him alone. I got 2 XP. Fine with me. Now, what is up here?
On it.
It looks... There's like... I assume this was slick, but I guess it's just sort of an effect. Now there's... Oh, can I... Well, let's go down here real quick.
Without doubt.
What can I interact? There was something... I already interacted there. Is there anything else? What is this? That looks cool. Interact. A matte black obelisk floats in midair above the water. It has sharp curved sides that converge to a glowing tip that brightens or dims with the passing of the bay's faint breezes. I wonder if this is an example of good Numenera, Bad Numenera. Lean out to touch the obelisk. You raise your hand toward the obelisk. Dull green light wells from the black stone, fixed on you like a furious eye. Allegern. I knew someone who did what you're about to do. Allegern says casually, an Aeon priest. A beam came out of the top of that thing and ripped his face off. Made a fancy nightlight out of his crystal necklace, though. But hey, I'm sure you know what you're doing. Callistege. Oh, hush. At least that poor priest died in the service of his curiosity rather than stumbling about the coast, complaining and feeling sorry for himself. Go ahead if you must, she tells you, ignoring Allegern's glare. But do be careful. All right, stretch your crystal shard towards the obelisk. Carefully, you level the shard at the obelisk, and a superheated beam lances out from the tip of the structure into the crystal, sending vibrations of your arm and suffusing the shard with a warm green glow.
Good balance.
Nice. We all got 3 XP. Did it do something? Let me go to inventory. We got XP, but it doesn't look like that it buffed up the crystal shard. What is this? That's my unstable detonation cipher. Okay. Now look at this. This is really cool. This stuff is floating up. The atmosphere in this game is already just very cool. It's just tremendously cool. I mean, fantastic. It's all these little background details that are adding atmosphere.
All right.
I'm not going to touch it. Yeah, I'm going to leave it alone. Okay.
It's a plan.
What is this? Okay, there's the area map. Merchant, sleep location, scene transition, party member, point of interest. Yeah, let's save the game. Clever Jack begins. Alright.
All right.
I keep wanting to draw a box and select my
Yes?
companions, but
Forward. Onward.
this UI doesn't work that way. What is this?
Doing it now.
Although this cube hovers in the air, you can feel the ground shudder with its vibrations.
Yes.
Some sort of gate. What is it? Examine. Strange lines and rippling forms of the sunken buildings are dramatically different from the architecture above the waistline, or above the waterline. That's interesting. And there's just so much cool little stuff going on. I guess this is meant to protect us. I don't know. This like little fence.
All right.
What is this? Uh-oh. Koro. As you step onto what looks like the back of an enormous construct, 4 strangers approach you, and the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on gray gloves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something to you when he notices Callistege. Koro. Cal, I thought you'd sworn off trawling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down both you and Allegern. Callistege. Odds and ends, Koro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she has gone quite still. Callistege, is something wrong? Callistege. Nothing's wrong, dear. I accompanied Koro on an expedition once long ago. His methods were too crass for my taste, though in his defense he never tried to kill me when my back was turned. She beams at Koro. Or if he did, he failed, and I didn't notice. Allergern, I don't like this. Allergern hisses in your ear, but loud enough that Callistege can hear too. If she's cagey about him, it can only mean trouble. You should hear what I tell people about you, dear. She gives Allergern a venomous smile. Killer or not, Quoro is not a man who can be trusted with unvarnished truth. Tread lightly. I'm going to let Quoro and Callistege talk. Quoro, his hands curl into a fist at his side. I was wondering specifically if you had seen a falling star that landed here not long ago. That falling star is me, by the way. Callistege, I've seen nothing of the sort, dear Quoro. Her lips close thinly. Quoro, what about your friends? He turns to you. I know most of the draft that scavenges the reef these days. It's a rare pleasure to see a new face. I'm going to activate my skill of the day, and I'm going to give myself a point of deception. That'll last until I sleep. I'm going to say deception. I'll be honest with you. I saw the star, but I don't know where it landed. So I've got an 80% chance. If I spend 1 point of, I think that's intellect, then that'll give me a 100% chance. So, and if you see here, base difficulty is 35%. Silver is one of my dominant tides. Okay, sure. That increased last video. Still not sure how the tides work. That gives me 15%. Level of effort, 20%. And I've got skill deception specialized because I did the flex skill, so that gives me 100% chance. And it cost me 1 intellect plus a point of intellect for effort. So we're going to do that. Critical success. Stat pool sit on effort restored. Yay! Quoro studies you for a long moment before sighing. All right, he says. Well, do let us know if you spot anything of interest. I'd like to say we'd pay for the privilege, but if we were rich, we wouldn't be down here, would we? So, I got 25 XP out of that. Allergern. Nice thinking, kid. That would have been a fiasco. You figured out why they were here, right? They saw me fall from... They were ambushing anyone who walked by. Sure, kid. Do you see them ambushing anyone else? They were waiting for us and no one else. Somebody sold us out. He points discreetly at Callistege. Excuse me? Are you suggesting I had something to do with Quoro's plans? Are you saying you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, as we return from the greatest find the reef has seen in years? It's too convenient for me. Too convenient by far. Of all the idiotic, paranoid delusion... You really believe this, don't you? You really believe I'd use a half-wit like Quoro to stab you in the back, rather than do it myself? You see, kid? She'll stab you in the back first chance she gets. Most likely in your sleep. He throws up a hand, forestalling Callistege's retort. Look, I don't care. Fact is, I can't trust you anymore, and I wonder why I ever did. This is the last we travel together. I've got enough to worry about without having to watch my back 28 hours a day. He turns to you. You coming, kid, or what? Say, Allergern, I really don't think she was trying to betray us. Callistege, it was a little convenient. Okay, rather than take sides, I'm going to say, you're really going to walk away from each other over this? Allergern, oh, this is just the last needle that crushed the Anine. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths, not 1/20th. She's a backstabbing bitch, and this mess here only proves it. Callistege, always a paragon of class, Allergern. If I did have any interest in betraying you, do you really think I would need Quoro's help? Yet this is the thanks I get for coddling your pain-rattled, judgmental weakness for so long. I've had enough. She turns to you. Child, I am happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Great. Finally, something we agree on, he growls. Kid, she'll chop off your head and spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go and let you sleep right at night to boot. It's up to you. I'm going to say, why can't I travel with both of you? Can't you just work it out? Callistege. She burst out laughing. My dear boy, we have been working it out. Alajern's petulance, his obstinacy in the face of fact, drives me away every day. He might be strong, but he's also thick. I dare you to try traveling with him and see how long you endure. Not as long as I have, I'll wager. Alajern. His face darkens under her accusations, but he manages a pained smile. As if you're doing me a favor by staying with me. Do you think I don't see your true self and all those echoes around you? That's you, Callistege, every facet of it. Your vivisectionist heart hasn't changed, just the way you present it. I thought I could help you, but... Okay. They're seriously expecting me to choose between super ultra cool across the dimensions witch and, you know, warrior dude. I tried not to take sides. I tried to get them to work it out. But I got to go with Callistege. I mean, she's just a more interesting character. Come on. All right. Well, if you want me and she doesn't sell you for parts, you can find me in the underbelly, but not with her, mind you. Callistege. I'll let you know what you've missed, Alajern. I'm sure you won't be. Missed, that is. She links an arm possessively into yours. Let's go, child. How could I not? We have a world to conquer. Is that what she said? That doesn't bode well. Now that you've dealt with Koro and his goons, you can continue on to the city of Sagas Cliffs. To reach the city, cross the bridge at the north end of the platform. All right. I'm going to leave the tutorials on for a little while. I really hated having to choose at that point. But it is what it is.
Yes.
I mean, how am I not going to go with her? A lambic green fluid drips from the end of the device's nozzle and hisses angrily on the metal surface beneath. Okay. Without any antagonist to aim it towards, the device doesn't serve any obvious purpose. Alright. And there's a lot of Numeneras like that. It serves no real purpose. A spherical head hangs loosely from the stanchion. A single metal fiber holds it in place. So it looks like this is the only active one. There were 3, maybe 4 at one time. Cobalt petals fold over a short metal stem. Calcified minerals hold the ancient weapon closed. Okay, so this is where it would have come out. There's 4 of these. A sickly green crust scabs over numerous cracks and divots in this turret, so that's the only one that's still active.
Yes.
Alright,
Fine.
let's leave the area. Okay, we're probably going to save here. It's about 40-something minutes. So far, I really like the atmosphere. Very impressed. You know, it's weird. The game loads fairly quickly and runs smoothly, but sometimes my computer kind of chugs. Okay, we seek the Order of Truth, so we must first reach Government Square. The easiest way is via the staircase by the old clock. I thought I wanted the Cult of the Changing God. I already said I wanted the Cult of the Changing God, but I guess by choosing to go with Callistege, I'm going to go for the Order of Truth. Okay, we are going to save here. Thanks so much for watching the Shane Plays Let's Play series of Torment, Tides of Numenera. A spiritual successor to Planescape Numenera. That was set in the D&D Planescape setting. This is set in the tabletop Numenera game setting and rules, slightly modified for a computer game from Monte Games and done by In Exile Entertainment. Thanks again for watching. Please leave this video a thumbs up, maybe a comment on YouTube. That helps me a lot. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We will catch you next time on Shane Plays.